All right, strap yourselves in, folks. Today, we're going deep into a potential trade war
Oh, yeah.
between the U.S. and our neighbors to the north,
Right.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be focusing on, you guessed it, how this could impact a certain electric car company.
Buckle up. This one's a doozy.
Big time. We're basing this deep dive on a YouTube video from the channel, Electric.
Okay.
And let me tell you, things get, well, pretty spicy.
Spicy is an understatement. The stakes are incredibly high, especially when you consider how intertwined the U.S. and Canadian economies are.
Seriously. They're like best friends, economically speaking.
Yeah, practically joined at the hip.
So Canada depends a lot on the U.S. for exports.
Well,
Like a lot.
oh, absolutely. A huge chunk of their exports, especially in automobiles and metals, go straight to the U.S.
And that's where the video takes a bit of a dark turn.
Yeah.
They paint this scenario where President Trump kind of goes all in,
Uh-oh.
threatening a 100% tariff
Whoa.
on Canadian vehicles and metals.
100%. That's drastic.
Right. I mean, think about the implications. This isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet.
No.
We're talking real-world impact on people, on businesses.
Absolutely. This would hit Canadians right in the wallet. Think about it. The price of your car suddenly doubles.
Oof.
Yeah. Or even something as simple as a can of, I don't know, soda.
Crazy, right?
It's a ripple effect. Everything will be impacted.
But here's the kicker. Canada's got a counter move.
Oh, they're not just going to take that lying down, are they?
Nope, not at all. They're proposing a 100% tariff of their own. And guess what it targets?
I'm on the edge of my seat here. What is it?
Tesla.
Tesla. Wow, they're going right for the jugular, huh?
It's a bold move, that's for sure.
Bold, but is it smart?
Well, that's what we're here to unpack, right?
Right. It's a strategic move, that's for
Yeah.
sure. You got to see it from their perspective.
Yeah.
It's not just about hitting back, it's about leverage.
Okay, so walk me through this. How does targeting Tesla give Canada leverage?
Well, Tesla, while an American company, relies heavily on Canadian resources, specifically minerals, the stuff they need for those batteries.
So this tariff would disrupt their supply chain.
Exactly. And that hits Tesla where it hurts their production costs.
Interesting. So they're using Tesla as a pawn, kind of.
In a way, yeah. Canada's betting that this will make Tesla put pressure on the U.S. to back down.
Fascinating. But, okay, what about the folks in Canada who actually want to buy a Tesla?
Right.
What happens to them? I mean, who's going to buy a Tesla if the price doubles?
That's the pressure point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Canadian dealerships could end up with a ton of unsold cars.
Ouch.
That kind of backlog would hurt Tesla's bottom line, for sure. And that's what Canada's counting on.
Okay, so let's say Tesla starts to feel the squeeze and puts pressure on the U.S. government. Is that the end game?
Well, not quite. There's another piece to this puzzle.
Okay.
Canada's got a backup plan. They call it Plan B.
Oh, intriguing. Tell me more. What's Plan B all about?
It involves getting a little closer, a little cozier with, well, the European Union.
Really? So they're thinking of, like, ditching their biggest trading partner and going all in with Europe.
It's not quite as dramatic as a complete breakup,
Right.
but it's definitely a shift in priorities.
So how would that even work?
Well, they've got this trade agreement in place, CETA.
CETA?
Yeah, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement. It's been slowly but surely increasing trade between Canada and the EU for a while now.
So it's like their safety net if things with the U.S. go south.
Exactly. Think of it as Canada's insurance policy in this whole trade war scenario.
Okay, so CETA is the insurance policy. But how would it actually help them? Like, what kind of benefits does this agreement offer?
Well, for starters, it eliminates a bunch of tariffs on various goods. That makes Canadian products more attractive in the European market.
Makes sense.
Plus, it simplifies all that custom stuff. Easier for businesses on both sides to do their thing.
Okay, so less red tape, more trade. I get it. But I'm still curious about the specifics, like which industries would actually benefit from this shift?
Well, remember how we talked about those Canadian minerals being so important?
Yeah, for Tesla's batteries and all that.
Right. Well, turns out Europe's got a massive electric vehicle market that's booming.
Ah, and they need those minerals. It's all connected.
Exactly. So while Tesla might be sweating, Canada could find a whole new customer base for those resources.
So it's like one door closes, another one opens.
Kinda, yeah.
Hmm.
But of course, there are challenges with shifting focus to Europe.
Right. There's always a catch. What are we talking about here?
Well, shipping, getting stuff across the Atlantic is way pricier than just trucking it across the border.
Uh,
Plus, there's different rules and regulations in the EU. Canada would need to adjust.
right, right. Different markets, different rules.
Exactly. And let's not forget about competition. European car companies are already big players in their home market.
So it's not just a simple swap. They need to adapt, strategize.
100%. And the thing is, this whole US-Canada trade war thing, it could have ripple effects way beyond just those two countries.
Yeah.
We could be talking about a global realignment of alliances.
Whoa, okay. So paint me a picture here. What is
So
it?
imagine Canada and the EU getting even closer, maybe even bringing Mexico into the mix.
Interesting.
That would be a huge power shift globally.
Right.
And it all starts with this seemingly isolated dispute between the US and Canada.
Wild. It's like we're watching a geopolitical thriller play out in real time. But the big question remains, is Canada really ready to ditch the US, their biggest trading partner?
That's the million-dollar question. Are they bluffing to try and force a compromise?
Yeah.
Or are they truly ready to reshape their entire trading landscape?
It's a gamble, that's for sure. And the answer could have massive consequences.
Massive. For everyone involved, it really is a high-stakes game. And who knows what will happen?
Right. It's like, do they fold? Do they double down? What's the play here?
Yeah, exactly. And both sides have some strong cards. The U.S., obviously, they've got that history, that proximity, that deeply embedded trade relationship with Canada.
Right.
But Canada's holding some aces, too. Those mineral resources, they're vital.
Yeah, we talked about that. Crucial for so many industries. And then there's the whole EU thing.
Oh, yeah, that potential EU alliance is a game changer. Not something to be taken lightly.
Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, Canada goes all in on this whole Europe thing.
Yeah.
What does that look like, practically speaking? We're talking about shifting billions and billions of dollars worth of exports across an ocean. Logistically, doesn't that seem like a total nightmare?
Oh, it wouldn't be easy, that's for sure. Longer shipping times, higher costs, and then there's the whole adapting to EU regulations and standards. That's a hurdle.
Yeah, for sure.
But remember, the EU isn't starting from scratch here. They've got that CETA framework already in place. It's a solid foundation.
So CETA is like the bridge helping Canada make that transition.
Exactly. It's more than just tariffs, too. It's about creating a smoother, more integrated trade relationship.
Okay, so can we get into the nitty-gritty a little? How would this agreement actually play out if things with the U.S. really hit the fan?
Sure. So CETA goes way beyond just lowering tariffs. It includes things like mutual recognition of professional qualifications. That would make it easier for Canadian businesses to, set up shop in Europe.
Interesting.
And there are chapters on investment protection, sustainable development. It's about creating a more balanced, responsible approach to trade.
So it's pretty comprehensive. It covers a lot more than just moving goods back and forth.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Okay, but I'm still kind of stuck on the specifics.
Yeah.
Which industries in Canada would actually benefit most from this shift? We talked about minerals, obviously. But what else?
Well, think about agriculture. Canada's got a massive agricultural sector, and the EU imports a ton of agricultural products.
Right.
CETA could open up huge markets for Canadian farmers, potentially offsetting some of the losses they might see from a U.S. trade war.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about things like tech, renewable energy? Any opportunities there?
Oh, absolutely. CETA has provisions for cooperation on research and development, especially in areas like clean tech and renewables.
So joint ventures, sharing knowledge, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It could lead to more collaboration between Canadian and European companies driving innovation,
Right.
more jobs on both sides of the Atlantic.
So it sounds like CETA's got Canada's back in a number of key areas.
Yeah.
But, circling back to Tesla,
Yeah.
if Canada really does go through with that tariff threat, what happens to Tesla's Canadian operations? Can they even survive without those Canadian minerals?
It would be a tough road, that's for sure. They'd probably have to scramble to find new sources for those minerals, maybe even look outside North America.
Yeah.
And that would jack up their production costs, make their cars less competitive.
So the fallout from this trade war could be huge, potentially reshaping the entire EV landscape.
No doubt. But let's zoom out for a second, look at the bigger picture. What does all this say about the state of global trade right now?
Yeah, good point.
It's a wake-up call, right? We're living in a crazy, unpredictable world. Globalization has created this web of interdependence where a fight between two countries can impact the whole planet.
Like butterfly effect kind of thing.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
It really makes you think.
It does.
So where does this all leave Canada? They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, aren't they?
They are, and that's what makes this whole situation so fascinating to watch. It's not just about, like, tariffs and trade deficits. It's about these shifting alliances, countries searching for new economic partners in this crazy world.
Yeah.
And it really makes you wonder who else might be looking to diversify their trade relationships. What does this mean for the future of globalization?
Big questions. And, while we're asking big questions, let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. How would all this actually impact, like, the average person on the street?
Good point. Well, for starters, consumers, both in the US and Canada, might see prices go up on a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Inflation, right.
Right. If Canadian goods become more expensive because of tariffs, those costs get passed on. And if Canada shifts its focus to Europe, well, American consumers might have fewer options for certain products.
So our wallets would feel the pinch. But what about jobs? The economy in general? What are we looking at there?
That's a tough one. A trade war could definitely lead to job losses on both sides of the border. Businesses might struggle to adapt. But it could also create new opportunities, especially in sectors that benefit from, closer ties with Europe.
So it's not a clear-cut win or lose situation.
Nope, there'd be winners and losers everywhere. But there's this underlying tension here, right, between protectionism and globalization. It's kind of at the heart of this whole dispute.
Yeah, you're right. And it feels like we're at a crossroads. Do we keep going down the globalization path? Or do we see a retreat, a swing back towards more nationalistic policies?
That's the million-dollar question. And the answer? Well, it might depend on how countries like Canada navigate these choppy waters.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential consequences of this trade war, the role of CETA, the whole globalization question. But, let's not forget about the human element here. How would all this impact, like, everyday Canadians?
Well, a lot of folks in Canada are definitely feeling anxious right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. People are worried about their jobs, their savings.
And sense, it's their livelihood, their security, it's a big deal.
It is. And it's important to remember, behind all the economic jargon, there are real people whose lives are being affected by these decisions.
So what can we learn from all of this? What do we want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. We're all connected, more than we realize sometimes. What happens in one corner of the world can ripple out and impact everyone.
The butterfly effect.
Exactly. And in a world that's, well, let's face it, a little crazy right now, it's crucial to stay informed, be engaged with what's happening.
I couldn't agree more. It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day and forget about the bigger picture. This whole Canada-US situation is a wake-up call. We're all part of this global community.
We are.
Our fates are intertwined.
Absolutely.
It really drives home the point that these aren't just, like, theoretical games politicians play,
Oh, absolutely.
This stuff affects real people.
Yeah, for sure. It underscores the need for, I think, diversification, both for businesses and, entire economies. Putting all your eggs in one basket is, well, risky.
Makes sense. Having a backup plan is never a bad idea.
Never.
So, okay, let's circle back to that Tesla tariff.
Yeah.
The 100% one. If Canada actually goes through with that, what happens to, like, the future of electric vehicles in North America?
That's a good question. In the short term, yeah, it would probably slow down Tesla's growth in Canada.
Right.
But long term, it might actually speed up the adoption of EVs from other companies.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. European brands, for example. They could really capitalize on this whole shift towards the EU.
So we might see more Renaults, Volkswagens, even some of those Chinese EVs making their way into Canada.
It's definitely possible. And that could even impact the U.S. market.
Oh, how so?
Well, if Canadians start buying more European EVs because they're cheaper, more available, that puts pressure on American car companies.
To, like, up their game.
Exactly. They'd need to offer more competitive EVs to keep up.
So it's like this whole trade war thing could accidentally lead to a boom in EV innovation.
It's funny how these things work out, right? All because of a potential trade war between, historically, two of the closest allies.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big takeaway here? What do you want our listeners to remember?
I think the main point is this. We're at a turning point.
Okay.
The old rules of global trade, they're changing. New alliances are forming. What happens between Canada and the U.S. in the next few months, it's going to have a huge impact.
On everyone.
Everyone. Not just those two countries, but the whole world.
It's a good reminder that we're living in a world where things change fast. And to survive, to thrive even, we got to stay informed, stay adaptable.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on this deep dive. If you're hungry for more, ready to explore more stories that, really matter, hit that subscribe button. Join us for our next adventure.
It's going to be a wild ride.
It always is. Until then, stay curious, stay engaged, and as always, thanks for listening.